folks. Back to playing Spirit of Justice. Let's see. There we go. So, last time we started on case 4. Feels like this case is going to be a bit silly, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, the witness wishes to testify. Oh, right, because Simon managed to reverse psychology or something him into testifying. Turned by such an obvious ploy. What a man of weak spirit. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. Of course there aren't any, because I'm not trying to hide anything. Scooter Submati's right, I don't see anything inconsistent either. But I did pick up on some faint discord in Wendo's heart. Ponder all you would like, defense, but it is pointless. Your Honor, I believe there is no need for further deliberation. I disagree, Your Honor. I detected discord in the voice of the witness's heart. That's a clear indication that Wendo is facing some sort of inner turmoil. Are you saying what I think you're saying, Miss Sykes? Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to conduct a quick therapy session on this witness.
Objection!
Wendo, there is no need for you to submit to this so-called therapy. It's fine by me. I have nothing to hide. Bring it on. Impetuous fool. Why will you not listen to the guidance of this humble servant of the Holy Mother? The witness wishes to proceed. I see no problem, prosecutor. In one ear and out the other. It seems this performer has no need for your so-called guidance, prosecutor Sad Monk. Just know this, Wendo. Your folly will surely earn you divine retribution. Thanks, Simon. I'm going to make the most of this opportunity you created for me. Just keep your wits about you. I will. Wendo, could you tell us again about what happened in the dressing room? Went to visit Shisho. Called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. I didn't really notice any unexpected emotions in that testimony. But isn't it always a question of the presence of an emotional response, but the absence? You know, you're right. It's not always... yeah. I think I have an idea where to go with this one. To his emotions, yeah. So this one makes sense. This one, sure. I'm a little surprised that there's no surprise at this. No, something here just doesn't match. Match as in manage to assert a thoughtful, calculated hypothesis. In other words, you are the something here that didn't match, correct? Appears you've met your match. Oh, brother. No worries. That was just one match. There's still the rest of the game to go. Alright. Funny wordplay aside, I guess the other thing would be, yeah, he's really sad, but he's not surprised here. So I guess this would be even more surprising. You know, I'm noticing something strange with these emotions. Some thin stranger with cheesy toe skin, you say? No, something strange with these emotions. How could you... Something strange with G-C-Totion? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's me who's got some cheese in my ears. Did he go up the floor to open up and swallow his cushions out of shame for that bad joke? The point I'm trying to make is that I noticed something unexpected in your emotions. Now stop hiding and come out where we can see you. Bailiff, please bring witness a few replacement cushions. Where did the other ones go? So what was this unexpected thing you noticed? Oh, come on. His Honor said a few cushions, not a few dozen. Now that we've all had a good laugh, please continue with Sykes. Who's laughing? Focus, Athena. Don't let yourself get rattled. When you entered the room and saw your master slump motionless over the table, you weren't the least bit shocked, Wendo. Don't you think that's a little odd? Is it, though? Lack of surprise means you were prepared for what you saw. And I think I know why. He was a shake when he saw his master's dead body is because... about his master's death? Wendo, I think maybe the reason you weren't shaken was because you already knew you would find your master dead. What kind of thing is that to say? Got it all wrong. Oh, right. I just remembered something. I thought Shisho was just sleeping when I first saw him. Hee hee. Thought he was sleeping? Sounds plausible, but... what made you think he was asleep? Well, he had his head and arms up on the table as if he were taking a nap. Oh, and one other thing. There was that note, too. A note? No. I must be talking about this. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting, do not... Thank you, Dayuta. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisho is napping? That is a pretty reasonable assumption. That's right, I saw this note, so that's why I thought Shisho was asleep. I want to change my testimony to include that statement. Alright, I'll run an update. I went to visit Shisho. Called him from outside the room. He didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. Okay, no response here, which, fair enough. But something seemed off, so I rushed over to him. Angry? Maybe. Shocked to find him dead. I couldn't believe my eyes. Okay, I wonder... I noticed something funny in your emotions again. Funny, you say? I guess an entertainer of my caliber can make people laugh even with my emotions. I didn't mean that kind of funny. Quite the opposite, actually. When you entered the dressing room, I see that you suddenly felt anger. What I want to know is what made you feel angry all of a sudden. What? Let's see. Oh yeah, now I remember. As I was going in, I whacked my little piggy on something. I was annoyed at my own clumsiness. Wait, you mean you stubbed your pinky toe? Just a little bump on my little piggy. No big deal. It's embarrassing, really. Sounds more like he's hiding something. Better dig a bit deeper. No need to be embarrassed, Wendo, but I'm afraid it's something we do need to look into. I don't really see anything you could have stubbed your toe on. In the area around the dressing room door in this picture. But maybe there was something there at the time. Wendo, what exactly did you stub your toe on?
Objection!
What an irrelevant question. You dishonor the soul of the victim with these unnecessary delays. You tell her, really, who doesn't stub their toe every once in a while? Really gonna fuss over every small detail like this? Well, the thing is... even the most subtle of fluctuations in a person's psyche can clue us into the truth. That's why it's important to get to the bottom of this question. Plus, if I back down now, who knows what new insults Simon will hurl my way. There's really no trace left of what window stubbed his toe on by the door. The world might have been there then, but it's not there now. Okay. So I noticed this trail of, I guess flour? And the TV doesn't appear to be plugged in, so I'm guessing it's the television. Look at this photo of the crime scene. Do you see it? This long track that goes from the door all the way across the room. Now that you mention it, I do see traces of something getting dragged. And the drag mark ends there at the TV. This implies that the TV was originally by the door. I'm convinced that this TV is the object the witness stubbed his toe on. Well, window, how about it? Yes, you're right. It was the TV. Still a little bit. I stubbed my pinky toe on the TV, but what of it? Why is this so important to you? So the noise went down, but it hasn't completely disappeared yet, which means he's still hiding something. Okay, then let's try this tactic instead. Window, why was the TV moved there? Shisho must have moved it so he could watch my routine. But what a place to put it, right in the middle of the doorway like that. I didn't want to bump into it again, so I put it back where it belonged. Performances on stage can be viewed in the dressing room using that TV? That's right, it's a closed-circuit monitor that shows the stage. Something's wrong. Well, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't he just watch it where it is? I see. Now what? I can't find anything else out of place. I still haven't gotten the noise level down to 0 yet. Simon, I'm still getting noise here, but I don't see anything else fishy. This is precisely why amateurs are such a bother. Sorry. In no mood to play nursemaid here, but if that's what it takes to save the soda shop. Oi, Ondo. Here's a curiosity for you. This table Master Tornado is slumped over. Looks like it was moved. Oh, yeah. Did you happen to bump into it while you were moving the TV back? Oh my, yes, you're right. TV hit the table and Shisho's body moved with a jolt. That's when I first realized that Shisho was dead. Oh, but how scared I was. I see. Thank you. Finally getting a more precise picture of how the body was discovered. But I'd wager you need to put the spurs to window just a trifle longer. Right. Can't keep asking Simon to bail me out like this. Time for me to regain my footing and really stand on my own. Window, what you said just now about discovering your master's death, could you please describe all of that again for the court in detail? Alright. But before you do, let me just plug in the latest information. Whoever Horns went to visit Shisho. Called him from outside the room. Didn't reply. I opened the door, thought he was sleeping. Tried to enter the dressing room, stuck my toe on the TV. Okay, so it's facing the wrong way for him to watch it first of all. I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisho was dead. Okay, those make sense. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table, Shisho. Okay, surprise jumps up massively. So I'm guessing it's like his real name Owen or something. That's odd. After the initial shock of finding the victim dead, you reacted with surprise again. What was it that surprised you, Window, besides your master's death? What do you mean? What's more, you were even more surprised the second time than the first. It could have surprised you more than finding your late master. Search me, your little thingy must have made a mistake.
Silence!
The girl is as sharp as a trout, to be sure. But her ability to hear people's emotions is absolute. Sharp as a trout, that's a good one. To remembering, Window, what is it that surprised you? That was a compliment, right? Well, Ooh. Oh, we pushed him too hard. Now he's mentally all over the place. His emotions are completely out of control. Care to explain how that's relevant? Yeah, normally I listen for the hidden emotions in a witness's voice, right? From there, I look for inconsistencies between their testimony and those emotions. Sometimes a person's feelings can run too high, making it hard to get proper readings. So that's how your Matrix program works. Fascinating. Ordinarily, it's just one emotion that runs out of control, but it seems there's nothing ordinary about it this time. So I went to visit Shisho. Called over from outside the room. Huh. He didn't reply. I opened the door. I thought he was sleeping. Tried to enter the dressing room, but stubbed my toe in the TV. I put the TV back in its normal plot, and I realized that Shisho was dead. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table, no Shisho. Wow. I knew it. It's got your knickers all in a bunch now. Window has multiple emotions running out of control at the same time. Never seen anything like this, ever. So how does one bring a situation like this back under control? I have to find the root cause of this tangled mess before I can treat it. I can identify what is causing this emotional rampage, and I can probe to dive in further. I'll need to point to what I think is the root cause and hit probe again. Through this process, I can identify exactly what's causing Window so much distress. And that will help bring his emotions back under control. In that case, let's get started, shall we? Alright, I can't guarantee success, but it's definitely worth a shot. Time to look for the root cause of Window's rampaging emotions. I mean, if I had to guess... Because the thing that made him extra surprised... It would also make him potentially extra sad.
Got it.
I get it now. The cards are the root of it all. I heard. Don't try to deny it. You can't hide your feelings from me. The dying message that was left at the scene of the crime is what was causing your distress. And if the dying message was the cause of all those feelings, then that means the phrase Owen Forth must mean something to you. There, noise level 0, finally. The dying message consists of 2 words, Owen and Forth. Neither of these 2 words have anything to do with this witness. Topic warrants no further argument. Sure, there may not seem to be any direct connection between Window and the message, for now, but why don't you wait and decide what's necessary after you hear my theory? I trust you've hit upon something, Athena. Yep, if my theory is right, we can finally solve the case of Window and the mysterious Owen Forth. Well, go on then. I can already tell this promises to be interesting. Now, please share your theory with the court, Miss Sykes. Something puzzling to me about Window's out-of-control emotions just now. Namely, that there were 3 distinct reactions present. I've never seen that before, and I wondered how it could be possible. Is there a conclusion to this meandering musing of yours? Hold your horses, I'm getting there. So, could a person flip between three distinct emotions of such intensity like a switch? In the end, I concluded that it just wasn't possible. So that's it, is it? A bit unconventional, but I'll grant that it's possible within the realm of psychology. Within the realm of psychology? I'm afraid you'll have to explain it for the old man up here on the bench. Your Honor, my theory is that Window has multiple personalities? I mean, the first two don't make sense. Through distinct personas, it's clear to me that Window's dissociative identity disorder. I mean, what does that even mean? Your Honor, the defense would treat this trial as a child's jest. Multiple personality disorder. A preposterous proposition indeed. Would you not agree, witness? How did she know? How did she figure it out? Krunka. Can't believe it. I did it, Simon. I've read papers on it before. I think I'd see a case of it for myself. Blimey, Rakugo artists tell stories as different characters, but as different personalities? Hey you, lawyer girl. Got a problem with us, huh? I mean, obviously this is, you know, potentially treading into strange territory. But, I mean, it could be, I could see it as being something that, you know, he's learned to work with and is like, hey, you know, this is just how I am, and I use it to, you know, do the thing that I like to do. No problem at all. It's all very hard to believe. Now that we've established that the witness has multiple personalities, each of them please introduce themselves to this call. I'm no Tornado. I'm a Rakugo storyteller, as you know. Hello, everybody. Patches, the friendly jester here. Kisagawa, courtesan. Is that all of you? Yes, that's all of us. So 3 personalities in total. Window, Patches, and Kisagawa, huh? Well, Simon, what do you think now? That you're one lucky duck. Just be glad they were dense enough to help you out. Can't you just straight up say I did great for a change? You're going to be quite proud of your self-defense. All you've done is infringe upon the privacy of the witness. Couldn't disagree more, prosecutor. Now that we know there are 3 personalities, a new way for us to interpret the meaning of a certain piece of evidence has arisen. A new interpretation? Now I'm very curious. What is this piece of evidence you're talking about, Ms. Sykes? Knowing what we know about Window and his personalities, I'm guessing it's that one.
Take that!
Karuta cards. That's right, Your Honor. Recall the original dying message left at the scene. We didn't have a clue as to what Owen Forth could possibly meant. But now, with this new information about Window and his personalities, isn't it possible that Owen Forth actually means a secret 4th personality of Window's, a personality named Owen? Alright, this is definitely treading into weird territory here. Window Tornado must have kept his dissociative identity disorder from us because he didn't want to be associated in any way with that dying message. No, that's not why. He kept our disorder a secret for a different reason altogether. Been taking advantage of our affliction to act out various Rakugo characters. Where this got out, well, our reputations as Rakugo artists would be tarnished, as would the Tornado name. That's why we kept it a secret from everyone except members of the Tornado School. But really, there is no fourth personality. It's just the three of us in here. A plausible enough sounding story. But it doesn't prove you didn't rearrange the cards, does it? I will concede that it is highly likely that the witness rearranged the cards. Is Prosecutor Saadmati actually agreeing with us? So, funny thing about this that I was thinking about. You know, something we, when Tormuse was here yesterday, he also noticed this, that, like, obviously, if someone rearranged the cards, they would do it to, like, frame someone else. But what if it was the person who actually did it, and they rearranged the cards to his name, knowing that it would seem too obvious? Which, I was like, you know, obviously that's a little crazy, but the thing to think about is now, it might be the case that someone else, they may have been arranged twice. Once before the stuff was spilled and once afterwards. So, like, there might be some kind of weird double switcheroo going on here. So it doesn't necessarily, like, I don't know that you can really use it to, like, absolve or blame anyone definitively. So I think we just have to run with it and see where it goes. However, is it not also possible that the accused killer killed Master Tornado? Right, now we're going to get to this point where, and then left that message in order to frame the witness. So now we've run it in reverse. Upon noticing the cards when he found the victim's body, Wendo rearranged them.
Silence!
Fantastic tale, but a tale nonetheless. No one outside the Tornado School knew about Wendo's multiple personalities. So does that mean Gabriel is the suspect now? He was just finished saying so himself. That is a true but ultimately meaningless point. The witness was only in the dressing room for 2 to 3 minutes. It's far too little time to commit murder, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
And who's to say he couldn't have done it before his discovery?
Objection!
And now we're going to get to the part I think I made earlier where it's like, we don't really know that he was killed between 4 and 4:20. You've already forgotten Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. His testimony. Oh. Yeah, but there's an issue with that. This was rehearsing, he decided to wait in the hall until he was done. That's right. Until just a few moments before Wendo entered the dressing room, Typhoon Tornado was confirmed to still be alive. He confirmed is a strong word here. Not only that, but Wendo was on stage until just before he discovered the body. Bulletproof alibi that I've already confirmed with several audience members. Dang it. I know where to go with this, just they don't. I also heard that his Rakugo performance that day was a steaming pile of... well, you get the picture. Yes, I'm afraid so. Really stunk up the stage I did, hee hee. And yet, I have a perfect alibi. Indeed, why not land the coup de grace on the defense by describing your alibi, witness? Okie dokie smoky. On stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness. My performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed. I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed during that very important show. So on stage before he found the bodies. He could not have committed this crime. We're looking at the wrong thing here. Look at this, Prosecutor Sudmati. The Right Anything Agency never gives up. We fight to the bitter end. Fact. Allow me to say this once more. Let it go and move on. Allow me to say once more, never giving up. Let it go and never. This is pointless. You should have taken advantage of this opportunity while you could, you foolish child. Your worthless convictions only serve to prolong the accused's suffering. I mean, you're not helping either, buddy. Oh no, anything but this. It's a big idea, Prosecutor Sudmati. It's but a small dose of punishment for your misguided convictions. You're now a bit more inclined to give up as instructed. As if. In that case, you must require another dose. Heh. Not bloody likely. I don't give two flips about your beliefs, but if Psych Stoner were to submit to you here, I won't be able to eat good soba anymore. That's right. For Mr. Wet's future and Prosecutor Blackwell's stomach. I will never kill... Okay, this was a little silly, but whatever. Rue those words of defense. Of that I can assure you. Also, how many of those things does he have? Let me be sure it was you who was on that stage. You're asking whether it could have been some imposter? I guess so. Unlike a big arena, a Rakugo theater is a cozy little place. It would be hard to fool an audience in such an intimate setting, don't you think? Yeah, I guess you're right. Good. I'm glad we could clear that up, because I guess you could say the entire audience is my witness. Is there anything special about the stage or your performance that you can tell me? For example, were the lights dimmer than usual? Were there any problems or accidents? Not a thing. Everything was the same as always. Mr. Prosecutor, you questioned the audience, didn't you? Yes, of course. Apparently nothing seemed amiss to them except, well, one small thing. One small thing? Oh, it's so embarrassing. Tried my best, really, I did. The performance was a huge bust. Do you have any idea what went wrong? I'm not sure if it was my performance or if it was just that particular audience. Or maybe it's the story I picked. But every entertainer knows that this kind of thing happens from time to time. I guess that makes sense. Still, I wonder if he could have flopped at his own commemorative show. Maybe I should dig into things a bit more. I don't think this is it, but... let's see. I drew a full house, so I think there must have been 50, maybe 60 people in the audience. It's quite a lot, isn't it? Exactly. I dropped a big stinky bomb in front of all those people. It's a catastrophe, I tell you. I was sweating buckets from start to finish. Sounds exactly like how Apollo performs in court sometimes. I see, thank you. As for that statement, Your Honor, I'd like to leave it out. I don't think that's the important one. Never mind, Your Honor. There's no need to add that statement to Wendo's testimony. I'm going to come back to that one, but I will take a look at the other one first. Excuse me for asking, but do you bomb like that on a regular basis? Well, aren't you a regular rude daisy? You really think a Rakugo artist who regularly bombs would get promoted? In fact, I'm known as Tornado School's whirlwindo of laughter. Is that really true, Simon? That nickname is a bit of a travesty, if you ask me. But his Rakugo is solid and well received, yes. I see. But yeah, the whole window of laughter is a big old stink. I don't know, it's... That was just me. Well, now I feel bad for him. I'm glad you like it. The audience is his witness. He has a pretty unshakable alibi, doesn't he? Not giving up, are you? There's that never-say-die spirit you displayed earlier. Of course I'm not giving up. Just no window has something to do with this case. But how will you connect him to the crime when he has an alibi as strong as that? I don't know just yet, but I'm going to press his testimony and keep an eye out for yeah. Right, so now we're going to go back and try the other one.
Hold it!
Could you tell me which Rakugo story you performed? I could, but I'm not sure if it would mean anything to the uninitiated. Well, even if I might not get it, can't you at least try me? Alright, if you insist. The story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Time Soba, huh? Window's right. He's only said the name of the routine and I'm already lost. So you performed Time Soba, did you? What? You know it, Prosecutor Sudmati? In the course of my studies last night, I became familiar with a number of stories. In the Sei defense, you would do well to prepare better for your next trial. Simon, what's Time Soba about? Look it up yourself. Let me give an overview. The story takes place on a winter's night. A man orders a bowl of soba at a street stall. How you doing, sir? What can I get for you? I see you've got seaweed-topped Hanamaki soba and mixed-topping shippoku soba. Have a bowl of shippoku, my good man. It sure is cold tonight, isn't it? But there's nothing like a hot bowl of noodles and soup to warm the soul. You know it, sir. One shippoku, coming right up. So, how's business? Not so great, sir. Is that so? Well, that's great, because things can only get better from here, right? Prosecutor. The customer talks on and on like this. Finally, when he's done eating, he goes to pay for his soba. So how much do I owe you? That'll be 16 mon, sir. I see. Sorry, but I only have small change on me. I'll count the coins in your palm, so could you hold out your hand for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, what time is it? It's 9, sir. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thanks, and bye. Very well done, Prosecutor Sudmati. That was excellent. Huh? I don't get it. What's so funny about that? Because he named the time in the middle of counting it out, I guess? You see, the customer paid with coins, counting them out one by one. Then, just after counting 8, he asked about the time. And the soba vendor answered with 9. Oh, now I get it. He made the vendor say 9, and then he continued counting from 10. Exactly. He cheated the soba vendor out of 1 mon with his smooth talking. The story continues with another man who saw the whole thing and tries to do the same, but he bungles the trick and ends up paying more than 16 mon for his soba. The story ends on that as the punchline. You can look up the rest of the details yourself. Or I'm sure Prosecutor Sad Monk over there would love to perform it for you after court. So basically, it's a story about a man cheating on his soba bill. It's kind of petty, isn't it? Is that really all you have to say about this classic story? I mean, it's essentially a little vignette of a joke, right? Where I'm sure there's some like physical like comedy involved and acting it out and like, you know, doing the voices and stuff. But it's not meant to be like, okay.
Objection!
Fine, so you studied a lot. We haven't time for a lecture to tour right now, Prosecutor Sad Monk. Aw, wanted to hear a little more. But I suppose it is off topic. Back to the matter at hand, Miss Sykes, the witness stated that the story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Would you like to add this? Yes. You know... Hold on. Yeah, because he wasn't supposed to do that one. So something is funky here, because that was the one Master Tornado was going to do. And I wonder if that's why people were upset, because they were like, they knew he was going to do that one. Something was weird.
Hold it!
The story where a man cheats on his silver bill, right? Why do you think it didn't go over well? Well, I suppose I was a little nervous. It's a lot of pressure when you're the star of such an important show, you know. You? Nervous? I thought you'd be all calm and collected, but I guess even you can get stage fright, huh? Wanted so badly to live up to the great name of Wendo that I inherited. I guess I overperformed a little this time. Wait, Wendo is the stage name of a former member of the Tornado School, right? That's right. The name belonged to one of Shisho's former disciples who died of illness at a young age. The weight of a new name like that to carry on your shoulders, I can see why you were feeling the heat, just like me. Carrying the weight of my entire agency on my shoulders right now. In that case, can I count on your sympathy and have you go a little easier on me? The audience is his witness. Wendo has a pretty unshakable alibi, doesn't he? Not giving up, are you? Okay.
Objection!
Wendo, is there something odd about the routine you performed? No, I don't think there's anything odd about it. That's exactly what I find odd, the fact that you don't think it's odd.
Objection!
You're discussing the witness's alibi at the moment, defense. The show's program is completely irrelevant.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong, prosecutor somebody. The reason being, it contradicts the statement the witness just made. Wendo, do you know what this is? No, what is it? This is an invitation to the show, sent from Master Tornado to Prosecutor Blackwell. Included in the invitation is a rundown of the show's program, which clearly states that Time Soga was to be performed by Master Tornado himself. Why didn't Simon know about this? Wouldn't Simon have thought something was weird looking at the invitation? Wendo, why did you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do? Well, you see, the reason for that is... how do I say this? You see, let's say that it was a prank. Oh, that's right, it was just a little joke, you see. He's trying to surprise Shisho by performing his routine before he did. Did the victim's routine really just for laughs, or... Did Simon happen to hear something from the dresser? That's true. In Wendo's performance on stage. So, okay, so that's why Simon didn't realize something was off, because he didn't see the performance himself. He was backstage at the time, the hallway. Seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be? What's the matter? You look like a hen with a dozen eggs to lay. Stop comparing me to birds. Cease this bird-brained timidity. Something has occurred to you. Lay it out for us already. Breed resentment in those watching your performance. Okay. I have a ton of confidence in this theory, but here goes. Looks like Wendo's alibi checks out, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case. Are you referring to the silver bill the man tried to skimp on in the witness's story? I'm not talking about the Rakugo story, Your Honor. Oh, sorry, but then what are you talking about, Miss Sykes? What I may have been trying to see this about was the time of the victim's death? Wendo tried to deceive us about the time of the victim's death.
Objection!
What gibberish. Prosecutor Blackwell even testified at the time of the victim's death. I know, but he only testified that way because he and Gator had been completely taken in. You mean, by the Soba Bill thing? Would you please forget about the story for a second, Your Honor? Was deceived? Pray tell, how did Wendo manage to deceive two people while he was performing on stage? That's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room. What might that be? The prop Wendo used was the TV, right?
Take that!
This TV was used to view what was happening on the stage. Prosecutor Blackwell, when you came to the dressing room, what was Wendo doing? He was performing time solo. Blast, he couldn't be. Yes, it could, and it was. What you and Gator heard was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. As Wendo's performance is heard through this TV monitor's speakers. I feel like Simon should have been able to tell the difference between speakers and someone talking, and also the fact that they're two different people and one of them is much older than the other. The TV just inside the inner door of the dressing room could easily be heard from the hallway outside. And because we knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time Soba, we were easily manipulated into thinking he was still alive at the time rehearsing. Yes, your knowledge of the day's program is why the two of you could be fooled this way. Simon, did the voice you hear belong to Master Tornado? The door's in the way. I couldn't tell exactly. Okay. Fair enough. Because I heard Time Soba, he just assumed it was him. That's fair. Can't believe it was taken in by such a simple mind game.
Objection!
Well, that is mere conjecture. Where's your proof defense?
Objection!
Wendo moved the TV back when he was discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave it by the door, because then someone might figure out the trick he'd been playing. And there's one more thing about Wendo's actions that's suspicious. And that is the fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion. What's so suspicious about that? Even pros slip up once in a while, you know. But I believe that this time it was intentional, because Wendo knew it'd be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room. Oh my. Face. It's all just a bit too perfect to be sheer coincidence. I mean, I guess this does fit into the category of extremely overcomplicated things that technically sort of fit. Plus, if the voice Prosecutor Blackwell and Gator heard was due to Wendo's scheming, the victim's time of death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. In other words, Wendo could have killed Master Tornado himself. Got you by the stones now, Wendo, so you better confess everything. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? You demand an explanation. Wendo. I confess. I tampered with the crime scene. The defense's claim that Wendo Tornado is the true murderer in this case. If you tampered with the crime scene, then you have to at least consider him a suspect. Now wait just 1 minute. Yes, I admit to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shisho. And why did you tamper with the crime scene? I refuse to answer that question. What? You suspect this witness, then I have a question for you. It could be this time. Wendo had absolutely no reason to murder Taifu Tornado. After all, why would Wendo kill the man who recognized his skills and promoted him? Well, his motive was, can't think of a single thing. Appears you are also not aware of one other fact. And that is, the accused visited the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose the accused killed the victim at that time. What? Well, he told me Mr. Wett had also gone there before 4 p.m. We were only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m., so I didn't think to... But now that you've made the time period before 4 p.m. relevant... Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. So you really do not know what your client was doing during that time frame, do you? Well, it was all very sudden, and, why did you wait until the very last second to contact me, Simon? Don't you give me that look. Just so you know, Bucky never told me he had visited the Master before 4 p.m. either. That sort of thing is exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling us unprepared. The defense will stop squabbling this instant. Sorry, Your Honor. Prosecutor Sidmati, please continue. Thank you, Your Honor. Defense, you know of the sober-making implements in the dressing room, correct? I'm talking about the equipment for making soba noodles. Speak of the large bowl that is used to mix buckwheat flour and water, the long rolling pin, and the special knife that is used to cut the dough in the noodles. Precisely. These tools all came from the accused's soba shop. You mean they didn't belong to Master Tornado? Mr. Wett had visited the dressing room to give the victim a soba-making lesson, and that visit was before 4 p.m. I'm afraid that after the accused kneaded the dough and made those noodles, he committed the act of murder. But wait, that doesn't add up. Mr. Wett killed the victim before 4 p.m. Why would he return to that room at a later time? What's soba? You're kit and caboodle when it comes to noodles. Oh boy. I get the feeling this is not going to be helpful to our case. Oh my. Hiya, Miss GD. Hiya, Simey. The reason I went back is because Master Tornado ordered uncooked noodles. Mr. Wett. Yesterday, I brought noodle-making tools to the dressing room at around 2 p.m. That's when Master Tornado ordered uncooked soba noodles to stock up on. Uncooked noodles to stock up on? Yes, ma'am. Master Tornado kept a supply of soba noodles from my shop in his fridge. I only had one serving left, so I went back to my shop to get some more. Serving of noodles in the fridge? But I thought the fridge was practically empty. Anyway, when we're about to the missing noodles and all... But it's going to be... You ran into me and Gator when you came back to deliver the uncooked soba, correct? That's right, Simey. I made time out of my busy day to deliver him the noodles. And you know what? He ignored me when I called to him from the inner doorway. Just kept mumbling Rakugo lines for ages, so I got mad and went back to my soba shop. So that's why you got mad. If what he's saying is true, then there's no way he could be the murderer. I swear I'm telling the truth, Miss... Anyway, quick, get this man to the infirmary. Well, I dare say he's quite the handful. Your Honor, please accept the statements Mr. Wett made just now into evidence.
Objection!
I believe the accused's statement about going to the room at around 2 p.m. is true, for it falls within the victim's estimated time of death. That opens up the possibility that the crime was committed between 2 and 4 p.m. That's some critical information. Yes, Your Honor, but other than that one point, Mr. Wett's statements are dubious and without proof.
Objection!
But they are the words of the defendant himself. Simon, back me up here. He has a point. If I were the prosecutor, I wouldn't accept them either. I understand the defense's feelings on the matter. This court is unable to accept anything other than the time the defendant made his visit. I I mean, you don't have any proof that's not what happened. That's something we always end up having to do. Why doesn't he have to do this for once? Oh, I do. Trust you have no further objections, defense. At last, the time has come to send the soul of the victim onward to the Twilight Realm.
Silence!
What are you yammering on about, Prosecutor Sad Monk? We still have something we need to question Wendo about. Quiet. Don't just stand there. We don't have any evidence left to present. You've forgotten already. And there's still a hidden witness you have yet to question. A hidden witness? Oh, that's right. Your Honor, there's still one more issue we haven't finished discussing yet. What is this bit of unfinished business? We haven't finished discussing... His alibi seems alright. I don't know if we need to talk about the Time Sova story anymore. I guess there's this bit about Owen. Let's discuss the possibility of a fourth personality, the one named Owen. Suggesting this fourth personality of Wendo's might be the true culprit. Jeez, not that again. I told you we don't know anything about this Owen. Look, Wendo, I know you don't have any motive to kill your master, but... this Owen may have one for all we know. Come clean now, Wendo. You've got another personality stashed away, haven't you? I feel like this is probably not how multiple personality disorder actually works. This is a little bit... but I guess we'll just have to roll with it. That's enough. The witness has already stated that he knows not of any Owen character. Bravo, you tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Hey, Patches. You claim you don't know Owen when you really do. That's tantamount to perjury. If you want to exercise your right to remain silent, however, well, that's a different story. Not listen to the depraved prosecutor witness. You'll be tainted with his evil. Do you have any idea how dark and cold a prison cell is? I exercise my right to remain silent. What's this now? Changing horses in midstream, are you? Shut up. I will remain silent and that's it. Patches, you fool. Will you stay out of this? Patches is not the brightest bulb in that box you call a noggin, is he? The fact that he switched from I don't know any Owen to I will remain silent is proof that he does know about Owen. There it is again, Simon's formidable psychological manipulation tactic. I'm glad he's on my side today.
Objection!
You dirty, despicable, depraved prosecutor. You were leading the witness. Witness, there's no need for you to submit yourself to the defense's questioning.
Objection!
Your Honor, Wendo is definitely hiding something. Please allow me to question this witness about the existence of Owen. Suppose only this witness can confirm or deny the existence of Owen for us. Very well. I will allow the defense to proceed. Konka. This is a little ridiculous, but I guess we're already here. Any personality named Owen. Patches was just blurting out nonsense in a panic. We're always aware, so we definitely noticed if a personality like that showed up. How dare you treat me like a criminal based on mere conjecture? How am I supposed to deal with the testimony of three persons? Unless you can prove the existence of Owen here, it's all over. Best screw your courage to the sticking place and attack their testimony head on. Stop piling the pressure on me. To draw out some info, anything to drag Owen out in the open. This feels problematic on multiple levels, to be honest. But I don't think it works this way anyway, so it's all kind of just silly fictional nonsense anyway. I don't know, I'm just gonna not speak about things I don't know about.
Hold
Is that how you experience each other? Like on the street? No, it's more like all three of us are always here. The personality that's most suited to the moment is the one that comes out. When you're out, Wendo, what are the other two doing? Oh, we never know when our turn will come, right? So we stand by and listen. So that means all three of you share the same memories. Never really thought about it. I guess that's right. I see. Thank you. Please continue.
Hold it!
Patches, can I have a word with you, please? Why, hello, you rang. You said at first that you didn't know anybody named Owen, but then you exercised your right to remain silent. Were you afraid of committing perjury? Well, you see... I'll take over from here if you don't mind. Listen, I hate to say it, but Patches is about as smart as a sack of rocks. If you drill him with a bunch of highfalutin words, he's going to want to keep silent. I see. So looking after loose-tongued Patches is your role, is it, Miss Kisigawa? Well, I don't know about that, but anyway... I do know that Patches was just flustered, and that's why he decided to remain silent. He's aware, so we definitely notice if a personality like that showed up. But what if, for some reason, you three were unconscious at the time of the incident? Is this gonna be like Fight Club? Or something? Oh, jeez. What happened? I'm not even sure what you mean. I mean, you three share the same memories, right? What if Owen is different? What if he has memories separate from yours? Maybe Owen emerges when the three of you are unaware or unconscious. Okay.
Objection!
Instead of speaking as if this fourth personality is a foregone conclusion, I suggest you prove his existence first. Well, we've already seen three personalities. A fourth wouldn't be a stretch. Yeah, but that's not proof. Some of the victim and this court by jumping to such conclusions without proof, yeah. What are these old sayings, Prosecutor Sugmati? What happens twice will happen thrice. If you see one, there are likely 30... Okay, one of those is... not something you want to compare a witness's disability to. Right? Even if it's not a disability, it's just... Oh, hey. Hello, welcome. We're currently in the middle of Case 4 of Spirit of Justice, so I don't know if you've played it before or not, but feel free to follow along or try to answer any questions if you have them. I'm basing my theory on such premises. Yeah, like... Adina, that was kind of a terrible thing to say about them. How do you intend to prove it? Yeah, you gotta prove that you became unconscious. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it so far, so, I mean, there have been, you know, I'm playing through the I've been playing through the 5th and 6th games for the first time, and replaying the 4th game from, like, a decade ago. Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be a 7th one. I guess we'll see. Maybe. How you prove that all three personalities become unconscious, as you're saying? Unless you can do that, all of this talk is merely empty speculation. Well, don't be so timid. If you don't have it, then find it. Look for something that could render Wendo and the others unconscious. What? Simon's right. I can't back down now. For my client, Mr. Wet, I have to. Wait, Mr. Wet? Rest? Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour to fruit on noodles. And fresh like my soba, and you don't let soba good. 3 freshes. Grind buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles. What? What does that have to do with... What? Falling unconscious. Wait a minute. What? I... I don't think I do. I'm afraid not, Your Honor. Of course you do, Athena. Have another good look at the crime scene. What? Something could have made the three of them lose consciousness. Is there anything like that in the dressing room? Okay, I'm gonna do this one and then come back to that.
Hold it!
There's nobody involved with this case is named Owen. You have to explore the possibility. How can you be so sure that's what the cards really mean? Yeah, like... I don't know. Could mean any number of things. Owen, the fourth hitter. Who in the world is that? He's a baseball player. A really great one, too. Owen Gonzalez, 36 years old. He's a cleanup, fourth-place hitter, of course. Such a famous baseball player was there, hanging around the theater. He would have drawn a lot of attention to himself, don't you think? Well then, how about this? Maybe it means O and 4. Like ION 4000. And who is this mysterious N person? What? N isn't a person. It was Shisho's favorite hobby shop, N Joy, is a huge model train collector. I see. Maybe he owed the hobby shop some money, so he left a note to remind himself. And Karuta cards on the table. I think that he's just stringing you along at this point. Shisho worked in mysterious ways. Or they're just stringing you along at this point, I should say. Have you been taking this seriously? I'm being completely serious. The point is, it could mean just about anything. I mean, fair enough, yes, that is... Seriously, you can't take that too seriously. Something. Except we approach this from a different angle. I figured that he's not going to just give up. Better not be you. Okay, so...
Hold it!
I guess. I don't know, this whole thing is kind of weird.
Objection!
Okay. We already saw this part. know what this is supposed to mean. Why does she think of the soba dough? Falling unconscious. Wait a minute, I think I've got it. I mean... I say yes. Your Honor, I do. It proves right here in this crime photo. It is. In that case, please point out what supports your theory. I don't even know what these are. Camel. Hold on. Hold on. Actually, not disturbing. It's got a camel on it. Like the... Is this supposed to be from the wrapping paper or one of the... Because this seems like it might be some kind of... I can't remember if this was like alcohol or like some kind of like... other kind of drink. I don't know, maybe this? No, that's not it. Oh. I made one know his consciousness. Sake. Isn't it just like Master Tornado to pick a fine brand like Camel? Sake? Oh, you mean rice wine. Oh please, don't call it rice wine. It's so unsophisticated. It's not even wine. Silly girl. Must agree, you need to become more cultured, Athena. Tomato. It's made of rice and people get drunk from drinking it, right? It's called sake. End of story. Fine, sake it is then. Caramba, everybody's so touchy about these things. Well, Master Tornado would often have a drink or two before performing. Said it made him more eloquent. Drinking too much of the stuff can make one lose consciousness, though, of course. And look, there were 2 glasses on the table. Window, I believe your master offered you some sake, and then you must have drank too much and passed out. And that's when your 4th personality, Owen, emerged. I drank sake. Oh, that's a good one. I have a real sweet tooth, you see, so yes, we did accept a sugary red bean bun. And since we really dislike sake, we said no thank you to that. Believe it or not, we're real weak when it comes to booze. And a tiny drop can knock it... Patches being the team load here. So, you see, I had a sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake. What? That can't be right. Defense demands the glasses be examined right away. You amateur, did you really think I had not already done so? Your foolishness is beyond pale. Don't tell me. There's no trace of the witness having touched either of the glasses naturally. Right, of course. Sykes, would you like the witness's statement added to his testimony? Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well. A sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake.
Hold it!
So if you had even a tiny sip of sake, you'd conk right out, huh? That's why you didn't touch the glass that Master Tornado offered, correct? Wouldn't he know this about Wendo and know not to offer it to him? Because that seems like it would be a... Or is this just the kind of group that is just constantly playing tricks on each other? And they're just having a laugh all the time. Which honestly, I could kind of see at this point. Yes, that's right. And maybe you ate something that had sake in it as an ingredient? I don't recall doing anything like that. He doesn't recall doing it. That doesn't necessarily mean he didn't. He just might not have... Oh! Oh! I see. I see. So I was wondering why what was the deal with the camel thing on all of the buns. So yeah, that was also, they probably all, because I was like, I was looking at this and I was like, okay, so the package has camels on it, but then the bottle also has a camel on it, but the bottle couldn't fit in the package. It looks like other things were in the package, so what's going on here? Now I realize, okay, so he had the sake, and I guess somebody gave him a present of the buns. So he was like, here, have a bun. And Wendo was like, oh, yeah, that's fine, I can eat that. But as it turns out, it was made with sake in it. Because it's the same brand as this. I feel like he should have noticed the fact there was a camel on it. But you know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. It's possible he may not have realized it. Especially if he didn't see the box that was open. Yeah. Didn't drink any sake, huh? Boy, now we're in trouble. That answers exactly why Sad Monk keeps insulting you. Now use your head. Countless ways Wendo could have gotten sake. Yeah. How about the countless? Also, again, I feel like Master Tornado should have known at this point. Like, it surely should have come up at some point or another. So, like, the fact that he gave him the bun anyway, like, these people are all just screwing with each other. It seems to let him figure something out. So the witness must have had something that... Yeah, okay, we got this. That is something that I've noticed that's come up sometimes in these last couple of games, where it's like, there's something obviously weird about this, but we're just going to end up not talking about it.
Objection!
It's the panda over there, what he thinks. Is there really a contradiction here? Oh, noble panda. No, there is no contradiction. There you have it. Mr. Panda says there is none, then it must be true. Nice. Nice, Panda. Okay, well, Is there something else that has... Because I thought that would be, like, hey, you can see it from this picture, but... 2 drink cans in the fridge, you use them on the stage in the dressing room. Okay, so it's not this.
Objection!
Okay, this shows what most likely made Wendo lose consciousness. So, maybe Taifu is the one who made that note when he passed out and was like, resting, do not disturb. But he would have had to go under before. Why would he do this to his student? Oh, brother. That note? You feeling lightheaded, child, or perhaps a bit peckish? Not hungry, and my head feels just fine, thank you very much. The paper this note is written on. Isn't there something familiar? Yeah, the camels. What exactly is your point, Defense? This faint design here reminds me of the paper from... Yep, it's a piece of the wrapping paper on the box of manju buns by the victim on the floor. Wendo, you may not have drunk any sake, but you did eat a sweet red bean bun, right? Well, yes, that's right. I don't know if you were aware of it or not, Wendo, but I believe the manju you ate caused you to fall unconscious. Yeah. Very punchy secret ingredient at that. Yeah. I feel like the the early games didn't have this many, but maybe I'm just forgetting and they would if I go back and play them again, so I don't know. The design on the wrapping paper matches that of something else in the room, right? It's this again.
Take that!
Same as the one. Yes. So it's just as Windows said, he didn't drink any sake per se. Yeah. Well, we figured it out. Princess claiming that Window passed out after consuming a Camel Sweet Bun, which allowed a fourth personality named Owen to emerge. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. That's exactly what I'm claiming. There's one thing that bothers me. Wouldn't the alcoholic content of the buns evaporate as they are steamed? In order to give them a stronger flavor, some manju are specially made to retain as much of their alcoholic content as possible. What kind of lightweight do you think I am? Well, Patches did just explain what kind of lightweight you are. We test that theory. What do you say, Your Honor? Seeing is believing, as they say. Very well, I will allow a test. Thanks, Your Honor. Simon, go buy some Camel Manju on the double. Don't forget to get me one too, okay? Why must I? While you're at it, Prosecutor Blackwell, you'll get one for me as well. I'm the courthouse stable boy, you know. Just this once, I'll acquiesce. Or how do you pronounce that? Taka, I'm counting on you. The bird's just going to fly off and get some. Oh, if you better pay me back. Aw, but I thought it would be your treat, Prosecutor Blackwell. What a shame. Now then, let us adjourn until the Manju right by Carrier Hawk. Or will reconvene as soon as Taka returns. I guess we can go for a bit longer tonight. Probably won't finish this, but it is something else that, I mean, even the early games had some level of wackiness, but it seems like the later games, like, kind of accelerated it a bit. Like, I know I'm saying this, and the first game had you, like, cross-examine a parrot at one point, but at the same time, it was, like, it was quote-unquote silly, but it also, like, it wasn't like the parrot, like, was responding in, like, regular English and you were actually interviewing him. It was literally just, yeah, we knew that it was an unconventional thing where he was like, oh, yeah, we know it's trained to respond in certain ways, and we're going to use this as evidence. It's just being presented as an interview or a cross-examination. Yeah, it seems a bit less of that, I guess. But I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and like I'm sure some people like are really into it. I just it's not quite as much my thing, but I don't hate it. And admittedly, sometimes they do a pretty good job of being funny. It did, but it was generally presented as a thing that was like, okay, this is, you know, this is a specific thing, and it's gonna work in this specific manner, and we're gonna, like, it's... There's a difference between fantasy and, like, comedic fantasy, I guess. And, like, I don't know, it's kind of a sticky point, and it's probably heavily subjective, depending on how people view it. I would have to probably put a lot into, like, some more exacting comparisons. It's almost more of a feeling or a vibe than, like, a specific thing, but I could probably, if I sat down and looked at it for a long time, I could probably piece it together, but like I said, it's not like, oh, I hate this, I hate... Because I imagine that there are probably some people that are like, oh, no, I don't like the games anymore, I hate what they did. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily like it as much as the feel of the earlier games, but it's still fun. So, I can't complain too much. I'm still enjoying myself. Now that the sweet buns have arrived, this court is back in... Like, this is kind of one thing, like... I don't think that we would have ever seen something like this where a hawk flies around and, like, grabs a bunch of food and flies back into the courtroom and lands on the judge's head. That's funny, but it's definitely a different, like, sort of vibe. Or it's like, okay, it's amusing, but, whatever. I'm not going to harp on it anymore. Because it is also really funny to see Taka sitting on the judge's head. The court is back in session. Come on, Window, eat up. It also feels weird that we're potentially, like, having this person eat something that's going to make them go unconscious. Like, it feels a little skeevy. Thank you for that, Judge. Sweetness and the faint aroma of sake. Yet I hardly think that anyone could pass out from eating something like this. What's the matter, Wendo? You're not afraid of a tiny manju, are you? Siren, you're not helping. I'm scared. Judge, please. Ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this couldn't possibly... it could never... Less bleeding, more eating, witness. Fine, whatever. See, I told you. Don't affect me in this slightest. You might be a lightweight. Come on. Nobody's that light. Oh, I see. Jeez. The three, those three are gonna fall out, symbolizing... Looks like it worked. Oh my. Witness, please tell the court your name and occupation. Ugh. Oh. My name is Owen. What? Years old? Oh, good grief. I hardly think a child like him could have a motive to murder the victim. If he had a motive, could he have actually committed the murder? That's a very good point. One does appear to be very timid and weak. The defense was hoping this hidden personality would be the real killer. But now that he is standing here before us, it's clear that none of Wendo's personalities can be the killer. Okay, so, hold on a second. We should still question, because maybe the point wasn't, okay, maybe the point wasn't that he was the killer. Maybe the point was that he was a witness and he knew what happened. So we need to question this guy, 5-year-old, whatever. We question him because he might have actually seen what happened to Taifu. So if he got whoever, like, maybe the killer actually showed up while he was in the room and just, like, I don't know, maybe, like, he was hiding or something, I don't know. But then, okay, if, in theory, Taifu was being killed, and he left a message on the table, and it didn't point to the murderer would have no reason to mess with it, so he would have left it. But it would have told us, hey, we need to talk to this guy, he knows what happened. So, yeah. Jisho. Owen, you know something about what happened to your master. Ah! Come on, buddy. Won't you tell Auntie Athena what... Auntie Athena, really? A scary lady. I'm not scary. Look at Auntie's big smile. Tell me about your master, please. Pretty please with sugar on top. This is getting weirder and weirder. Just like a real grandpa. Love Jisho. Do you sense anything behind his words? This is sadness so pure it's heartrending, but no discord. Here's Samadhi is right. Owen isn't the killer. Ask him if... Ascension of Window himself, where the original Japanese version never stuck. I kind of wondered about that. Given that the whole idea is that, like, personalities, quote unquote, is just like, like I said, I don't know how. I don't think I've ever actually met anyone with multiple personality disorder, but the idea that it was really more like this, like, thing that he just, it's part of how he works is, he's got all these characters that he uses in his, performance or whatever. I don't know. But I could see that being a thing where, like, instead of it being like a personality disorder, that's just how he is, like, how he, how he works, quote unquote. There's not like a illness behind it or anything. Then don't you find it odd? What odd? Let's review what we've learned so far. I'm gonna arrange the character cards. Well, arrange the character cards to pin the blame on Bucky. That's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Tornado. Exactly, the other 3 personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards probably wouldn't have been Master Tornado, so then who did it? Defense? Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out? Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the Karuta cards. But I thought it was the victim, right? No, Your Honor. I don't believe... Okay, so this isn't how I was thinking it might go. Well, it's not this one. I don't think there's going to be a 5th one. So I guess it has to be the true killer. Why would the true killer do that? That... It's always weird when you get a multiple choice, and you know one of them is obviously the correct answer, because the other two don't make any sense, but you don't know why. Yeah, I still could have thought it. I still thought it could have been the victim pointing to a witness instead of the killer. But I guess this is. How quickly you go into a new target when your Owen theory proves false. That's also fair. Hulk Hogan. I know Hulk Hogan is, but I know I'm definitely not one. Before you start with the sermons, why don't you hear me out? Yes, let's hear the defense's reasoning. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you. I understand, Your Honor. Now then, please recall the original crime scene. Who did the card's name when the scene was discovered? The implicated defendant, but wet. That's right. We then found out that the message originally went Owen IV. Which implicated the young boy, Owen. Exactly, and the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Wendo. Wendo may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. He's tampering with the crime scene using the TV all proves it. Yeah, he confessed to tampering with the crime scene. The reason Wendo rearranged the cards in the TV was because he saw Owen's fourth message and was convinced Owen had committed the crime. Right on, Prosecutor Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other three personalities don't share the same memories. Really, there's no fourth personality, it's just... yeah. We feared that Owen had killed Master Tornado, so he tried to hide Owen from us. It turns out Owen's but a 5-year-old child incapable of hurting a fly. I mean... this could also be, like... this could also be a ruse on Owen's part. Like, we only just, like, met this guy, like, 5 minutes ago. But I guess we'll just skim over that thought. Somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen. Does make sense. This is not the conjecture composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who then do you maintain murdered the victim? Owen might know something about that. Okay, this is what I did want to do, is to, like, ask him about what happened. But... Somebody... you get real annoying sometimes, because this is the one thing that actually might be useful to solving this case. Well, let's ask him first, to see if he knows anything before we dismiss him outright.
Objection!
Like, okay, so in theory, if he did pass out, then he might have been there. I just realized I was trying to let go, blah blah blah. I saw it. See? I saw Shisho getting... Owen, you do know something, don't you? Is this true? If so, you must have Owen testify immediately. Would you agree, Prosecutor Suddenly? It's alright, Owen. Go ahead and tell us what you know. Yeah, I don't think he did it, but he might know who did, or he might have an idea. She was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face. Getting... what? Just standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping on Shisho's face, getting it all red. Couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. Okay. I mean, we still don't know that. This is something else weird that happened, but... You don't know anything about what you saw. I was so scared. His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him. Is he alright? His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him. Alright. I mean, I do like the concept of these, the whole emotional therapy thing, because, I mean, the whole idea is to help people work through, you know, their memories and try to figure out what they remembered and get the right thing. But this is all so weird. Poor kid, he's absolutely terrified of something. This might be the root cause of his out-of-control emotions. I mean... This seems like it should be the problem. I was expecting this to be a bit more complicated, but yeah. But it's, yeah, weird that there was no blood in the crime scene photos. What the heck is going on here? Also, yeah, I feel like maybe he wasn't standing upright. Maybe he was lying down. I should obtain this child as a tale he dreamt up. Because it's a little weird for blood to drip on. No, he was lying down instead of standing. No, that's not it. Because it wouldn't have dripped. It wouldn't have dripped onto the front of his face. It would have dripped on the top of his head. I don't know. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now, so who knows how accurate his memory is. Maybe it's time for that thing instead. What thing? The thing that you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking. Oh. Rotate your thinking about. That's a funny way of phrasing it. Turn your thinking around. In this case, we're literally going to be turning him 90 degrees around. Sort of rotating your thinking. I mean, rotate is... Hey, wait a minute. You're gonna rotate him 90 degrees. You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate just might work perfectly after all. Just rotate. Yes. Thank you, Athena. Lying on the floor. Yeah, the conclusion I arrived at when I rotated my thinking, yeah. Which means that all the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees. So you flip them around. Master Chaino is also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery. Blood could have been dripping on the victim's face. It's much easier to imagine how that could happen if he was lying down. Yeah, someone bleeding onto Master Tornado from somewhere up above him. So, is it possible that someone attacked him, he used the knife to defend himself, he died, but he managed to injure his attacker, in which case we would be looking for someone who was injured. Now, somebody was sitting up on top of Shisha. Calls Master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally. Blood that stained the victim's face red is from the person sitting on top of him. The victim's holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back, yeah. This means his assailant was injured on their face somewhere, like the forehead, perhaps. I mean, not necessarily on their face. It could have been somewhere else, and just because unless he was directly, like if he was on top of the victim, then like even if his hands were like around the guy's neck or like his arms were there, it could have like come off. The blood could have come from his arm. But anyways, if you and Zach were face to face, then yes, yeah, that's an assumption, but this is what happened. If I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandages. Yeah, he does. Didn't think of that. Mr. Wetz, conclusive evidence that he committed this murder. I mean, let's let the kid finish first. We kind of just like... Young years on that you cannot crawl out of. If you know figure out the reason for his out of control emotions, please raise further suspicion. Yeah, but just... You've dug yourself in a hole, keep digging at this point. Which is not usually what you're supposed to do, but in this case, we're going to run with it. It looks like he had both motive and opportunity, plus he has that injury on his forehead. Your Honor, I sense the defense is finally ready to let it go. Nope, we're not. I'm saying that you don't want to give up on your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason. You did her best, but all the signs point to the defendant's guilt. Maybe it's time she gave up. She tried everything she could. I really don't want to back down, but...
Silence!
Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence? I wouldn't say that, it's just... Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning? You believe me, ma'am? Of course, no matter what, I'll believe you to the very end. Are those just empty words? Of course not. It's just that all the cards are stacked against us. You still stuck on that line of thinking? Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky? I'm his chickadee lawyer. Do your duty and believe in him till the very end. Oh well. I was absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer. He's depending on me. Defense team, please, no fighting in my courtroom. Defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell was just giving me a pep talk, that's all. Thank you, Prosecutor. I didn't do it for your sake. I did it for the future of Wetsoba. Yeah, I got it. Defense would like to now continue with Owen's therapy session. Owen, would you be alright with that? Okay. So, somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho, bleeding from their head, smooshing something into Shisho's face. That's funny. What is it? I still hear discord in his voice, but I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and his emotions. There don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself, either. So that's it, huh? Did you figure out something? The ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. There's actually something he's being very vague about in his testimony. You can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence. You should be able to move forward from there. Okay, that makes sense. Give it a try. Update the mood matrix. So you present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh? Let's see how it goes from here. He's on the ground. Blood on his face and a knife in his hand. On the floor, somebody's smooshing something into his face. Okay, so how could he have blood on his face, but also something was being smooshed into his face? Couldn't move at all, I was so scared I passed out. And let's see what Owen is feeling uncertain about. It should manifest as something Owen is being specific about. Isn't being specific about. What's the matter? Is this too tough for you? No, I'm thinking. Stop distracting me. I can guess what Owen is certain about. I just don't know which piece of evidence will pull the info I need to the surface. So this is the rigid thought process. Try kneading your mind as well. It's not a soba dough, you know. Because you learned a thing or two about making soba, at least. You think? I've only been hearing about it all day today. Even with that tiny bit of knowledge, you ought to be able to find your answer. Simon, he's figured something out again, hasn't he? What does the soba making process have to do with what Owen isn't sure about? I mean... Okay, so it is weird that, like, supposedly there should have been a lot of flour. There's also the fact that it's all over the floor. Like, what the heck was going on in here that flour got all over the floor? And all over the table, actually. Like, we still haven't really explained that. And it is kind of weird that nobody's called attention to it. But this is going to be another one of those things we're going to gloss over for now and not worry about. Maybe this time, yeah, the room is covered in soba flour. Making soba noodles from scratch in the dressing room. Suffocation, nothing was found in his lungs. This part is pretty specific. This is the part he seems to be unsure about. Oh. There are the pillows.
Objection!
Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? Identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon right here in this crime scene photo. Fortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. The police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where's this murder weapon you see? You don't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. Killer pressed in Master Tornado's face. I guess they're talking about the noodles because it was dough at one point? So, okay. So the theory is that they killed him with dough and then made noodles out of it so that it wouldn't look like there was a murder weapon. I think that's what they're getting at here, but that seems incredibly convoluted and silly. Ah, this game.
Take that!
Mystery person, no one saw press soba in the victim's face, thereby suffocating him. Grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How can anyone commit murder with soft, delicate soba? Noodles would instantly fall apart. Right, they weren't noodles yet. I disagree. There's a way the soba could have been... Yeah, there was still a big thing of dough. To kill Master Tornado, the culprit must have smothered him with uncut soba dough. The words. Murder weapon was raw soba dough. Okay. Two things. One, that means that the killer killed the guy and then made noodles out of the dough and put the noodles into the bowl. And how long would it take to do that? Second of all, This unfortunately puts the main suspect back on the guy who makes soba noodles, i.e., our defendant. Ugh. This case. We're in the court. Soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it? And now we're gonna be like, there's no soba dough. Just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice thanks to the foolish lawyer before me. Oh, I was gonna skip that and just go straight to, yeah, the chef did it. Let me summarize your statements. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon used to suffocate the victim was the dough in the dressing room. He then disposed the murder weapon by cutting the soba dough into noodles. Are you smarmy? I mean, George the accused put the victim's face in the bowl of soba noodles and broth to wash off the blood that dripped on the victim's face from his own. And there you have it, the true sequence of events behind this foul affair. Now wait just a minute. I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit. No, but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles, defense. Yeah. Soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training. But then what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Wendo's Owen personality. Perhaps the victim was... I mean, there is also that it could just be a random sequence of cards. I mean, weird coincidence, but... Or, like I said... if Bucky walked in while Owen was awake... Well, no, because then no one would have seen it, he would have said something. I don't know. Just sometime before his murder. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that could have been it. Yeah. Here's we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Honestly? Kind of, yeah.
Hold it!
Owen, is there anything else you can tell us? Doesn't matter how small a detail, anything will do. You're scaring me. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Athena didn't mean to raise your voice. Be gentle with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years. Don't be scared, okay, sweetie? Just tell us anything you can remember. Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me, bleeding from their head. Owen, you saw the killer's face. Presented it again. So who was it, Owen? Do you remember? Oh, I don't know who it was. Picking up some noise. Means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony. I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, we were analyzing the dreams of a child. We wasted enough of our time, defense. Let it go and move on. No, there's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here. Owen, do you think you can continue your testimony for us? Okay. The new info and run an update then. Okay, this part makes sense. Somebody's smashing dough into his face. Also makes sense. Being sad and shocked that it is reasonable. Could move it all. Sure. So scared. Passed out. And when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me. Got it! Okay, that's weird. Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling, one of relief? The person the witness saw was no stranger, rather it was the accused. Therefore, it is only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense and this madness and sully your soul no more. Owen, who did you see? That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume. Oh. It's the smell of do it. Try to remember, Owen. The smell of... Seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly have their hands full today down there. Let's continue with the trial. Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion. What about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? At least it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit. There are thousands of perfumes in the world. It could even be the scent of the hair product the accused uses. He does have one amazing hairstyle, so that's certainly possible. The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products. Couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky? It's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with such precision is the accused and no other. Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that? And so the person Owen saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused Bucky Wet. What the? Hey. I never use hair products or anything with a smell. If I were something like that, the smell would get in the soba. Boom, check it. Mr. Wet, aren't you supposed to be resting in the infirmary? Whatever. Think I'd let my soba stink of perfume? Try that chilled soba for yourself and see. I believe we have no choice but to treat. Strictly for examination purposes, of course. Well, let's dig in, shall we? I had to include the slurp noises, apparently. It's delightful. Oh, I'm satisfied there are no traces of hair products or perfumes in Mr. Wet's soba. First sweet bean buns and now savory soba. What a delectable trial this has been. The texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of the dish we had in Korean called Banupu. Steak, Miss Chickadee. This soba's pretty good, isn't it? It's delicious. Don't you think so, Simon? Still pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine. Slimy, why you always gotta be so hard on me? Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary at once for some rest. Rest? Hey, I had a lump of plain old weedy udon dough, you know. Fresh like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's about 3 foot. So, the fact that he keeps mentioning this means it's almost certainly going to be a sticking point. And that you have to make, okay, grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, boil the noodles fresh. So basically, to make soba, you basically have to do all the steps one after the other. If you don't, the soba is presumably bad. Grief, what a defendant. Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait, smelly perfume. Yeah, I do have an idea. Free smelly perfume. I need a certain somebody. Who might that be? Only one person that comes to mind. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna get to that next time. Because I get the feeling this is going to be another turn in the case. And given that it's pretty late, I am going to have to wrap up for the night. So, I hope you enjoyed this. This case is definitely weird. The wackiness level is definitely higher than usual. But you know what? Alright. It was still fun. And there's definitely some amusing moments. So, you know what? I'm still having fun with it, and that's the important thing. And I hope you did too. Probably play tomorrow. I'm not sure 100%. Probably either Saturday or Sunday. Either case, hope you enjoyed it. Either, you know, watching the stream or watching the videos. That's all for me, so take care and have a good evening. We'll see you next time.